Have you ever clicked a button on a website and thought, that was fast, nothing really happened? Meanwhile, somewhere on a server, a backend developer's code just woke up from its sleep and sighed deeply. Because every click you make is actually a conversation with the backend, and that conversation happens in almost the same way, no matter which programming language is used. When you click something like login, sign up, or buy now, your browser sends a request to a server saying, hey, this is what the user wants. The backend receives that request, and the first thing it does is try to understand it. What is being asked, which endpoint is being hit, and whether the request even follows the rules. This part is usually handled by something called a controller or a route handler, and its job is not to be smart, just to keep things organized. Once the request is understood, the backend passes it to the part of the system that actually thinks. This is where business logic lives. No matter the language, this layer decides what should happen next. Is the data valid? Does the user have permission? And does this action make sense at all? This is where most bugs are born, and where developers spend most of their debugging life. After that, the backend usually needs data, so it talks to a database. It doesn't talk directly, though. It uses a data access layer that knows how to fetch, save, or update information. The database then searches through its records and responds, either with the data, with nothing, or with a very slow response that makes everyone question their career choices. With the database response in hand, the backend puts everything together and decides what to send back. If everything went well, it sends a success response. If something failed, it sends an error. Either way, the response is structured, predictable, and usually in a format like JSON, because frontends like things they can easily understand. That response travels back to the front end, the user sees a message, a page update, or an error pop-up, and assumes the system is simple. But behind that single click was validation, logic, data access, and error handling working together in milliseconds. This is how backend works in any programming language. The syntax changes, the frameworks change, but the responsibility stays the same. The backend doesn't care about how nice your UI looks. It cares about rules, data, security, and not crashing when real users arrive. Front-end makes it look good, backend makes it work, and quietly carries the stress of the entire application without asking for credit.